There is something many marriages lose long before they lose love. It isn't attraction. It isn't intimacy. It isn't commitment. It's respect. And when respect quietly disappears, love begins fighting for its life. Welcome back to Relationship Reality. If you're new here, my name is David. I've spent decades watching marriages succeed, fail, heal, and quietly drift apart. On this channel, we talk about the relationship truths people feel but rarely know how to explain. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you something. Women, when you think about what your husband needs most, what comes to your mind? Love? Affection? Encouragement? Security? Now men, I want you to answer honestly. Have you ever felt deeply loved by your wife, but not deeply respected? Tell me in the comments. I read every one of them because sometimes another person's story helps someone save a marriage they didn't even know was in trouble. Stay with me until the end, because this conversation may completely change how you understand men. And if it helps you, don't forget to subscribe to Relationship Reality and like this video so more people can hear conversations that might protect their marriage before it's too late. I've learned something after 40 years of marriage. Most women understand how important love is. Far fewer understand how important respect is. For many women, love is the emotional foundation. For many men, respect is. That doesn't mean men don't need love. Of course they do. But many men experience respect as love. When a man feels respected, he feels seen. He feels trusted. He feels believed in. He feels safe enough to lead, safe enough to provide, safe enough to become the best version of himself. When respect disappears, something inside him begins shrinking, not all at once. Quietly, a wife once asked me, "My husband doesn't seem happy anymore. I tell him I love him every day. Why isn't it enough?" I asked her one question. "When was the last time you admired him?" She became quiet. Because love and admiration are not always the same thing. Many wives continue loving their husbands, but they slowly stop respecting them. They correct every decision, question every judgment, criticize every mistake, laugh at his opinions, speak over him, second-guess him, and then wonder why the confident man they married slowly becomes quiet. Listen carefully. Very few men become emotionally distant overnight. Most become emotionally careful. They begin measuring every word, every opinion, every dream, because experience has taught them that sharing themselves usually ends with correction instead of connection. Respect is more than good manners. Respect is making another person feel that their voice has weight, that their thoughts matter, that their efforts are noticed, that their presence is valued. Many wives unknowingly believe respect must be earned every day, but they expect love to be given freely. Healthy marriages understand something different. Both love and respect are daily gifts, not daily rewards. One of the greatest misunderstandings in marriage is believing that criticism creates improvement. Sometimes it does. Often it creates withdrawal. Imagine spending years trying to provide for your family, working long hours, sacrificing your comfort, carrying financial pressure, fixing problems nobody else even notices, then coming home and hearing only what you did wrong. The trash wasn't taken out. The light bulb wasn't replaced. You forgot one appointment. You said the wrong thing. Nobody talks about the 100 things you did right. Only the one thing you missed. Eventually, something changes. Not because you stop loving, because you stop believing you'll ever be enough. Comment honestly. Have you ever felt like, no matter how hard you tried, it was never enough? Respect also means trusting someone's intentions. Many arguments begin because one spouse assumes the worst. He forgot because he doesn't care. He was late because he doesn't respect me. He didn't text because I'm not important. Sometimes that's true. Often it isn't. Sometimes people are simply overwhelmed, tired, distracted, human. Healthy marriages don't automatically assign bad motives. They ask questions before reaching conclusions. Another reason respect matters so much is because it shapes identity. The person who knows you best has enormous influence over how you see yourself. If your spouse constantly reminds you of your failures, you eventually begin seeing yourself through the eyes of criticism. If your spouse constantly reminds you of your strengths, you begin growing into those strengths. This is why encouragement is so powerful. People often become what the person closest to them consistently believes about them. One husband told me, "My wife never says I'm a good father." That broke my heart, not because he was perfect, because every man needs to know his efforts matter. Men don't always need applause, but they do need appreciation. Many wives underestimate how deeply genuine admiration affects a man. Tell him, "I believe in you. I'm proud of you. I appreciate how hard you work. I noticed what you did." Those sentences cost almost nothing, yet they can change an entire evening. Respect also shows up during disagreement. Anyone can respect someone when life is easy. The real test comes during conflict. Do you protect your spouse's dignity while expressing frustration? Or do you attack their character? There's a difference between saying, "I didn't like what you did," and saying, "You're useless." One addresses behavior. The other attacks identity. Identity wounds take much longer to heal. I've noticed something else. Many wives unknowingly compete with their husbands instead of partnering with them. Everything becomes a contest. Who works harder? Who sacrifices more? Who deserves appreciation? Who is right? Marriage isn't a competition. If one person wins every argument, both people lose. The strongest marriages aren't built by people trying to outperform each other. They're built by people trying to outserve each other. Respect also means allowing a man to contribute. Many capable women say, "I don't need a man." Perhaps that's true financially. Perhaps it's true practically. But every healthy man wants to know he brings value to your life. He wants to protect, help, solve, provide, not because he thinks you're incapable, because contribution gives many men purpose. If every offer of help is rejected, he eventually stops offering. Not because he stopped caring, because he concluded he wasn't needed. Listen carefully. Being needed is not the same as being used. Healthy men don't want to be used, but they do want to matter. Another place respect quietly disappears is in public. Some couples laugh at each other in front of friends, make sarcastic comments, reveal embarrassing stories, roll their eyes, mock opinions. They call it humor. But public disrespect creates private wounds. Protect your spouse's dignity, especially when others are watching. The world criticizes enough. Home shouldn't. One of the saddest things I've ever witnessed is watching a man lose confidence inside his own marriage. He used to lead. Now he asks permission for everything. He used to dream. Now he says very little. He used to laugh freely. Now he mostly listens. People assume he's changed. Often, he adapted. Years of feeling dismissed taught him that silence was safer than participation. Respect isn't agreeing with everything your husband says. Healthy wives challenge their husbands. Healthy husbands challenge their wives. Respect means challenging with dignity, not contempt. Contempt is one of the most destructive forces in marriage. Eye-rolling, mocking, belittling, speaking to your spouse as though they're beneath you. Very few marriages survive long where contempt becomes normal. Respect keeps disagreement from becoming humiliation. Now, let me speak to the husbands watching. Respect isn't demanded. It's cultivated. Treat your wife with kindness, consistency, integrity. Keep your promises. Lead through character, not control. The strongest men I've ever known didn't force respect. They inspired it. Respect flows both directions. A wife who feels loved finds it easier to respect. A husband who feels respected finds it easier to love. That's why these two needs are deeply connected. You cannot consistently neglect one without damaging the other. If you're still watching, this next part may be the most important. Many people spend years asking, "Why doesn't my spouse love me the way they used to?" Sometimes the better question is, when did they stop feeling safe enough to fully become themselves around me? Because respect creates emotional safety, and emotional safety allows love to flourish. Without respect, love slowly begins carrying impossible weight. Eventually, it becomes exhausted. Before I finish, let me leave you with something I've learned after 40 years. Respect is not weakness. Respect is not surrender. Respect is choosing to protect the dignity of the person you promised to spend your life with. You can disagree respectfully, correct respectfully, challenge respectfully, And when both husband and wife feel deeply respected, they stop becoming opponents. They become teammates again. Now, I'd like to hear from you. Men, when did you feel most respected by your wife? Or when did you realize respect was disappearing? Women, has anyone ever shown you respect in a way that changed your life? Or has this conversation changed how you think about your husband's emotional needs? Share your experience in the comments. Take a few minutes to read other people's stories too. You may discover that many of the struggles in your own marriage are shared by thousands of other couples. And if this conversation helped you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Relationship Reality, and turn on notifications, because every week we have honest conversations about marriage, masculinity, femininity, emotional connection, healing, and the relationship truths most people are too afraid to say out loud. I'm David, and after 40 years of watching marriages succeed and fail, I've learned one lesson that never changes. A man can survive many hardships, long hours, financial pressure, disappointment, failure. But when the woman he loves stops respecting him, something inside him quietly begins to disappear. And when respect is restored, many times, so is the man.